stock market, how markets behaved in India, but we have a history how market behaved in US. So it is not something which has not happened. It has happened before, but it is a unique situation for India, a developed India, and that is where we need to understand more about the problem. And when we understand the problem, I think the solution also will be visible to us. So now, before I get into my full session, we need to understand this market. Now, whenever we see this kind of major correction, then short term is of no use. Nobody can predict what will happen 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year from now. So it is very difficult. But whenever there has been a major correction, if we see the history, then post 3 or 5 years, the market has given more than double the returns. So even if we take 2000, Sensex was 6,000, but in 2008, almost it was 21,000. That is almost 2.5 times return from the highest point. But we take the lowest point, which was 2,700, then it was 9 times return. So now if somebody does a SIP or somebody does a systematic investment plan, then he is always a winner. So before going into this, now whatever introduction was given to me about this association, these are young people. So I would like to first start with 2 important books so that we develop good habits. So Atomic Habit is one book written by James Clear. He says small changes in life makes a big change over a period of time. UK cycle team, when they were losing for almost 100 years, in 2004, when a new coach was introduced, they changed basic few structures, and the team in next 5 years became a winning team. He says, if you want to exercise, just start for 10 minutes, and when you want to recollect, say it loud. So I would suggest that this is a very good book. There is a correlation in stock market also. In stock market, you have to start it small. You cannot make it very big. It is every change or 1% incremental gain is what will make a major gain over a period of time. So somebody who wants to make a multi-bagger return, it cannot happen in one day. It is a time period of a minimum 10 years that you need to understand the market. And down I have given a book called Outliers. It is Malcolm Gladwell who has written the book. He says that success has taken enough time. Anybody who has been successful in life, the first 10 years has been a great struggle. Any rich people also he has taken, and they said they have practiced for 10 years and they spend most of their time practicing, and then the success has started to come. And for success, even your place of birth, the way you have behaved, everything adds up to your success. So these 2 books are very important, and if you have to get back to us, you can mail to Deepak Jain. Any queries will be answered. So this is the chart. Now we have corrected almost 40% in 3 months. Now in last 40 years, if you see any point of time, this kind of correction in 3 months has never happened. We have seen correction. We have seen 56%, 60% correction, but it has taken 10 months. In 2000, 2003, it has taken 18 months. So this kind of fast correction has never happened in India or even in globe. In US, they say 1987, we have seen this kind of correction. But for India, this is the first time we are seeing the correction at this speed. So that is something we need to understand. We had a slowdown already, and now we have virus which has impacted the livelihood. So whenever these kind of correction happens, we have normally have a pullback rally. That is what is going through. So we can see 9,600 or 10,200. I don't know till what level we go up. But again, there are chances that market will correct. That is something we need to understand, because whatever results we see, the impact is just 15 days. We had TCS result, we had HDFC Bank result. The impact on the result has been only 15 days impact. But now the impact is going for 1 month. And if we really understand to kick back the economy, it is going to take minimum 3 months to 6 months. That is 1 quarter to 2 quarters. So almost this full year will be a washout year. And I feel the GDP, everybody says that it will be 1.9. Few people are saying it will be flat. I think it will be a negative growth in GDP, because getting back people to work is going to be a difficult thing. Now, Maruti has come with a statement saying how they need to work. Now, when you have a social distancing, you cannot work more than 50-60% capacity. That is, and that too with a huge cost. On other things, you have to work at 60 or 70%. So you can never reach 100% in next 3 months. So that is the major difficulty the corporate will face, and migrant workers will not return so early. They have never seen in their lifetime, and they were standard in many places. So for them to get the comfort and for them to come back to work will take time. So this is what I was talking about. If you see the charts, the Spanish flu impact, and there was one town, I think it is St. Louis, where they had a lockdown in 1918, and they had a very less impact. Whereas Philippedia, which had a lockout, they had very huge death. So India is following the right method. We have a lockdown which is going to have 40 days. 40 days is the lockdown period, and then slowly with a lot of rules and regulation, it will be opened up from 20th April. At least the goods will start to move, because now the prices have started to increase and people are finding it difficult to get goods. I think from 20th, that is on Monday, goods will start to freely move, but it will be only the road transport, not the rail or not the airline transport. So I think that is a fair move, and many chemical companies have started to work. That is also very positive. So this is how many countries have been impacted. USA, Italy, Spain, even Germany, UK, many countries have been impacted. 40 days of lockdown. But to kickstart any economy, you need helicopter money, and that has been pumped by US, and it has also done by Europe. Now India is doing it in tranches. They want to know what is the impact and which sectors needs it immediate. So that is why there is a delay. But yesterday also RBI came, and they have also given a lot of benefits to this economy. I think it is a systematic thing. Throwing money at one single go will not arrest the problem. And I think Indians are doing the right way compared to other countries. So you need to wait. What is the pain point? Where is the pain coming from? Understanding that and then giving them benefit is the way to go. And we need to understand how China and India, these two are the most populated country, and how they have performed. Before is what I have put in this chart. China started to reform in 1980. In Shoe Dog. Shoe Dog is written by the Nike owner. So he writes that in 1980, he went and started a factory in China. And that time, Chinese government agreed that part of the production, they will buy the goods. And it made a very good strategy for him that selling to Chinese is going to be a game changer for his company. And he agreed to open a factory. So 1980 was the year when Chinese agreed to allow foreigners to invest. And one of the first few countries from US to invest in China was Nike, as per the records. So if you see how China has grown, they have done it very systematically. And their major part of the growth after the reform process kicked in 1980, the major part of the growth happened from 2000 to 2020. 2004, their per capita PPP, the per capita income was $2,000. Today, as we stand today, it is about 10,985 or something, almost 10,000. 5 times as an increase they have done. But India today stands at $2,000, and I think in next 20 years we have the potential to go nearby it. Maybe we will not reach 10,000, but we might be at $6,000 or $8,000 per capita income, and that will be a fantastic growth. And to achieve this 2,000, we have taken a very long time. From 1991, when we started our reforms, we have been gradual in improving that. And I think we have a lot of advantage. That is what we are going to see in the next slide. So this is how China has been managing. Now, when you see China, they have taken over most of the manufacturing unit. So I will show you a slide where the dominance of China is visible. This is manufacturing sector. So China dominates 28% of the global manufacturing sector, whereas India just is at 3%, whereas the second country is United States at 16.6%. We are hardly one ninth of what China is producing, but when it comes to services, India dominates. Services sector, India is the leader. We are about 55% of the services sector. So that means there we have a market leadership, but in manufacturing we have a long way to go. And whatever has happened now, I think we have the huge advantage. This is not made as a slide, but I don't want to also, but I will tell you what is happening. How are the foreigners thinking about China is something we need to understand. Japanese few days back announced that any company which is willing to shift from China to Japan, they will get funding for the shifting, or any company which is willing to shift from China to other countries also, Japanese government will compensate. What is the amount they have earmarked for it? It is $2.2 billion. And today, India has also said that any neighboring country, any country which is having border with India cannot increase stake in the automatic FDI route. Now they have to take a government approval. So the world has become afraid of China. Now, the way they have handled COVID-19, it has terrified the world, and now every country is putting a lot of restriction for Chinese. Now, let it be Japan, let it be South Korea, Australia, let it be Europe, and even let it be North America. And 2 days back, I think even when Kenya has said that all Chinese should get out of their country because of racial discrimination. So this is what is happening globally. This anger there are two kinds of anger. One is that China has cheated us, and the other thing is when China was shut down, their units were not functioning normal. Mobile phones, Apple phones were not supplied anywhere because their total unit was in China. So when you have a unit mostly in China, when it is shut down and the total globe is stopped, for example, Mahindra BS4 vehicles were stuck up and they were unable to sell because few parts didn't come from China, and China was under a lockdown, and that is a huge loss for Mahindra. So everybody wants to de-risk their global strategy. So what is the de-risking they can do? They can move to other countries or they can come back to India. What is the advantage India is having? Recently, India cut its corporate tax. It was about 34%, if I'm right. Now for a new unit, it is only 15%. Existing unit will be having slightly higher, but new unit will have a tax rate of 15%, which is one of the lowest in Asia. Singapore and Hong Kong are the two other countries which are having that kind of tax rate. So that is one major advantage. And using this, I think government will open up few reforms. The long pending reform has been labor and land reforms. If both these reforms happen, that is going to be the game changer for our country. And here I have given that steel capacity. India is the second largest steel producer in the world. The first largest steel producer is China at 53%, and India is second largest with a market share of 5.9%. Again, 1/10 of what China is producing is what we are producing. So we need to understand we have a huge scope to improve from here. And the resources is there in India, and India is decoupled from the globe for many reasons, except for crude and few other electronic items and gold. We don't import major items. India is a self-sufficient country. It is not the case with other global countries. So that is one big advantage India is going to have in years to come. So this is how the two India has behaved and China has behaved. After reforms, 1980, if you see now how China has taken up, and 1990 after our reforms, how India has taken. So in next 10 to 20 years, it is going to be Indian economy which will dominate. Now, whenever China dominated, it never reflected as a stock market benefit. But when India starts to dominate, being a democratic country and having an open stock market, I think it will benefit across the globe. So this is where we stand. Now, in 1919, we were the 5th largest economy in the world. And I think the way forward, we should be very soon at the 4th, and slowly, gradually in next 30, 35 years, we should be one of the largest economy. Or in 2030, the prediction is India will be the second largest economy next to China. If that is the growth potential we are going to have, then we need to understand the stock market terms, what is the kind of return we will get. This is one interesting book, Unusual Billionaires. Interesting facts he has given in the book. So as I go by, I will discuss few stocks which Saurav Mukherjee has given in that book. And I think as an investor, we need to learn from great people how they have invested. We should not use their ideas, but we need to understand what is the thought process which has gone, and based on that, we need to create a new thought process so that will help us in a long term. So here I've given the advantage which India is having. So India is the largest. 55% is a market share in services. Services means there are multiple services that we are doing, and India is the 3rd largest startup ecosystem. The startup after US and Japan, I think I'm not sure about the second country, but first is US. That is why they are still today dominating the world. And India has become the 2nd largest mobile manufacturer, which many people don't know. And it is a recent development. It started when Chandrababu Naidu started to bring a lot of mobile manufacture to India. And that move has benefited India largely. Now, we have started to export mobile, which many people don't know. And diamond, I know everybody knows, 75% is the market share. We dominate in that segment. And we are the largest two-wheeler manufacturer in the world, largest tractor. So there are many advantages, but there are few things where we can improve. That improvement, if it is done, I think, and we have a crisis with us, global crisis, which if India acts now, then it will be the biggest opportunity in our lifetime, and that will be the biggest bull market we can see. But it will take time. It will not happen in 1-2 years. It might take 3 years, 5 years, but patience always benefits us. So the kind of crisis, every decade belongs to one country or one asset class. So no, there is an interesting interview. Ruchi Sharma does it with NDTV every year. So you can search with Ruchi Sharma NDTV interview. He says every decade belongs to one asset class. 1970, it was crude. Now, crude started to perform in 1970, and till 2012, it was outperforming the bull. But now, crude has become an asset class which is not liked by many people. But crude has the best time in 1970s. 1980 to 1989, it was Japanese economy and Japanese stock market which gave multi-bagger return. And then 1990, before the rally, no, in 1987, US saw a major correction, and then the rally started. The rally started in 1990, and it went till almost 2000 when the dot-com bubble burst. And we also had a problem in 2000, 2003, and globally it was a double-tip recession. And then rally started in emerging market, where India, China, Brazil, and even South Africa, these were the emerging market which did very good. And that kind of bull market we have not seen now. Now, so in 2003 to 2008, the kind of rally and the kind of performance or the returns which people made, we have not made in 2010 to 2020, because it is not our decade. It was more of US decade. So US had a problem. In 2008, US had Lehman crisis. Post Lehman crisis, now US started to pick up, and they had one of the best time in their last 100 years. So 2009 to 2020 January, they had the best time in the economy and even in the stock market. And now in this 2018, 18 we had the budget where long-term capital gains was introduced. Once the capital gains was introduced, 80% of our stocks started to correct. And those stocks till today, it has not recovered. It is not that the market corrected in 2020 January. I would not agree. Majority of the stock corrected from 2018 February itself, post budget, the budget which introduced long-term capital gains. And then we had multiple crises. We had this DHFL, ILFS crisis. We then had DHFL. We had PMC Bank going burst. We had DHFL. So multiple crises we are facing. So in US in 2008 there was a crisis. In India in 2008 itself, market started to correct. The major correction started to happen in 2020 January, but it was more led by a virus, COVID-19, which was a global fever, and that is making things correct. But we need to understand, nobody understand what is really happening and how much time it will take for recovery. So we are in a limbo. This is multiple things together. This is the first time it is happening, and it is a new reality. But there are a lot of changes. At later point of time, I will show you what are the small changes people are visualizing. They are saying IT companies might opt for 25% or 30% people working from home. That means real estate will have an impact. Many companies will think of reducing their rental and make people work, and they will have a system where they can monitor their employee, and they will have a shield so that it cannot be hacked, and it can be worked upon. And when China developed, the important point, the manner in which China developed is everything China did, they made it in Chinese. For example, they had their own Facebook, they had their own WhatsApp, and they never used MasterCard or Visa card. Anybody who has dealt with China, or if you have traveled to China, they use digital money transfer, and 90% of Chinese don't use currency. We also should learn to transfer to digital, And today there is a fear that currency carries more disease. So we need to understand digital is the way to go. And when many things become digital, robo, India will be the major beneficiary. That is one part of India where services, Internet of Things, digital, cloud computing, everything is going to benefit India. There are few sectors which will take a hit. So this is about textile. Now in textile, if you see clothing or textile, China has market share of 31%. They in 2000 it was just 18% in clothing, but India has not made a major impact. But if you notice Bangladesh, now Bangladesh from 2.6 has become 6%, and even Vietnam from 0.2% has become 6%. So we have missed a bus even in textile. And second largest employer in India after agriculture is textile. Agriculture employs almost 26 crore people, 26 crore. Now that is why government is saying the lockdown should not impact agriculture segment, because that will create a lot of chaos. Now 26 crore people, if they go out of job, it is not easy to manage. And textile is the second largest employer in India, and most of our textile are stuck up in the high sea. The losses which textile companies is going to report, it is going to be huge, because we were exporting, those export have not been received by Europeans, so the money is stuck. They have not given us the payment, but we have manufactured and their orders have been executed. So there is almost about 15,000 crore which is stuck up in only high sea, and there will be work in progress which should be around 5,000 crore. So if you take like this, the impact sector wise is going to be very huge, and that is where government has to come out and say what is that they are likely to do. So these are sectors and stocks which are positively impacted. So let me go one by one, where there are strength. See, after this COVID-19, people now realize, wherever I talk or whatever market feedback I get, they say, things have started to change. People, in the last 1 month have realized that by not going out of house, their savings is more than 50%. Their movies, their entertainment, and their other expenses has been cut down drastically, and they are able to work, do their home needs also, and they are working on a lean system, which is a major change. So this will lead to a lot of change in the way the consumption will change. And I myself am witnessing that I have to buy extra data because I was working from home. Previously, 50% of what I've used in last 1 month I was using, but this month I've exceeded the quota. 200 GB was not enough when you work from home. So there are many things which are changing, and this change is going to be permanent. So we need to understand this has happened after 100 years, and now there is going to be a huge change in the habit of people, the habit of corporates, and the habit of government. That is where we get a lot of opportunity. The best opportunity is FMC. Now, Nestle and Britannia are two companies which are in packaged food. Now, see, at least for 6 months, I don't think anybody would like to go to a hotel. It will be a takeaway. Now, they would like the restaurant to serve at home, but nobody would like to go to the restaurant and risk the health hazard. So that is going to be something we need to watch. So what will happen? The companies like Nestle and Britannia, which are in packaged food, are going to be a beneficiary. So that is one segment which will benefit the major. So anybody, for example, today ITC has said in Mumbai, they will supply, to any society, where they will WhatsApp them. They have given a number. You WhatsApp us and we will supply it. No, that is the change they are trying to do. So, for example, DMart, that is one crowded shop, and now they will find it very difficult to get back to their levels. So they are also trying to supply it to the home. So no, everybody, e-commerce is going to be a major beneficiary. Now people don't want and go, they don't want to go out and shop. They want the product to come. Contactless shopping is what people want. At least this will continue for next 6 months. So no, we need to understand this dynamic will impact companies like Big Bazaar. Now Future Group is already in a mess. They have about 11,800 crore debt, and they are not able to repay. So Future Group, Shoppers Stop, people who fail to innovate are companies which are having huge rent and huge employee cost are likely to be impacted. Whereas in DMart, they own most of their shop. So there the rental impact will not be there, and their employee cost is one of the lowest in the industry. So they will face a difficult time. 6 months result is going to be very bad, but over a period of time, they will recoup. And recently they have raised money. So DMart in that category will do very good, but other companies can get impacted. Hindustan Lever, they have merged two companies, JSK and Hindustan Lever. So they also are a major beneficiary. Dabur will be one more major beneficiary in that group. But FMCG as a sector will find it easy to recover. Then it is Gold Finance. Gold Finance, whenever there is a major problem globally, what happens? Gold starts to move up. So Gold Finance company, their LTV is about 90 days. So if they give an extension of another 3 months also, it is protected by the upside in gold. And gold financing has a NIM, net interest margin, of 15%. In that, Manappuram and Muthoot are likely to be major beneficiary. Exchanges, even in the lockdown, exchanges are functioning. BSE, CDSL, even MCX, they are functioning. And I will give you one data point. Now BSE market cap is almost 1,500 crore, and their cash in the balance sheet is 1,500 crore. So we are buying only the cash component of the company, and their dividend last year they paid is 30 rupees. So at previously the stock was at 300. When it was 300, it is just 10% dividend deal. Today it has become 8.5 or 9% dividend deal stock. So these are companies which are generating cash flows, and these are companies which don't have debt. CDSL has overtaken NSDL to become the biggest company in that segment. There are only two people, NSDL and CDSL, in your the depositories and other things. So I think these companies which have duopoly or monopoly, they are going to benefit. Even MCX, the competition is very less. So these are companies which we have to look. I think BSE looks very attractive. Maybe now recently from 300 it has gone to 380. But again, there can be a correction, and at that point of time it might come down, and that will give us a good opportunity. So IT, there are many IT related things which will change. If we have had a crisis where now people will try to use robot in this kind of emergency. So they will plan. So next time this kind of emergency comes, they need to use robots so that this doesn't spread. So there are many companies which will start to benefit. I think Infosys, TCS, and HCL Tech, they are the leaders in Internet of Things, cloud and digital service, even cloud, other services. But in mid cap we have LTI, which is still looking very attractive, Mindtree, etc. And in engineering and development, more to do with the research, Tata Elxsi is a major player. So it is well positioned to benefit. Many people talk about driverless car. So like that, they work on project, and whenever these projects get approved, then they get a big benefit. Telecom, this segment has not impacted. They have seen 15% growth in this bad period when everyone is sitting at home. Their growth has been best. And in that standalone is Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel is likely to benefit more. Reliance is a mega company, so they have retail, they have oil and gas. Now oil and gas will have a hit, whereas their Jio will do very good. And there are rumors, which I don't know whether it is true or not, that Facebook is likely to take a stake. But for me, these news are immaterial. How well they manage their finance is more important. Recently also they have raised debt. Their debt has crossed 3 lakh crores. So these two are debt-laden companies. It is not that they are debt-free. So that we need to understand. But still, telecom is one segment where I see a huge turnaround. If you are looking at 3 to 5 years, Bharti Airtel and Reliance are companies which can double from here. So that is something I feel so. So you can look at Bharti Airtel at current level, but these stocks where I'm talking a SIP for next 2-3 years will be the major beneficiary. So negatively impacted sector, I think tourism and hotel. Tourism, hotel, that segment together constitute 9% of our GDP. Hotel alone, if we take it, is only 2%, so not a major thing. But tourism and hotel, they constitute 9% of the GDP. And this segment recovery is going to be very slow. That is why I said we might not see a positive growth in our GDP. We might see a negative growth, because for the next 6 months, the needs of the people are going to change. They might not like to go abroad, or they will not like to go somewhere to enjoy their life. They will try to recoup the lost time. Schools, colleges has to reopen. The study time has been lost. So many things they have to recoup. So next 1 year, traveling, leisure, or hotels, these kind of activity will take a back seat, because there are going to be salary cut, there are going to be job losses, which will impact this thing. But for a long-term investor, here, hotels and other companies, somebody looking at 5 to 10 years, yes. Even Indian Hotel, in their interview, they said FY21 is a washout year, but 22 we will do very good. That is a kind of comeback they will have in 22, but we need to take that calculated risk. And airlines, if government doesn't compensate, it is going to be very difficult. Real estate is one more sector. I feel it will take time for them to come back, because migrant laborers have gone back to their thing. So kickstarting will be a problem. And now people have other things to look upon. They have other installment, other loans to repay. So they will say, I will keep it on hold. So there will be a negotiation on rent and other things. So real estate is one segment. When funds are not there, when the fear comes, it starts to underperform. So real estate is one segment which will not do very good. Even multiplexes will have a problem. If you have to have a social distancing, then they cannot operate more than 50% capacity. So PVR, Inox will take time, and by the time their competitors in television, you don't have a very good player, but Netflix and Jio and Airtel will take over their eyeballs. So I think that is where again it boils down to telecom there. So long-term sector, where once the recovery starts, the companies which can do well is banking. Now we need to understand that any crisis, HDFC Bank has started to grow. In last 25 years, today they are the second largest or third largest bank. And if you see the growth in this bad market also, they have grown at 20%. Year-on-year basis, 20% growth nobody has seen. Deposit has grown at 24 or 25%. So that is the strength of HDFC Bank. So the leaders will take it all. The top 5 banks will take market share from other banks. That is likely to happen. Already we have seen how the market share from PSU banks have been taken by these private banks. So I think HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, SBI, Axis Bank will take market share from smaller banks and larger banks. And whenever there is a crisis, smaller companies will take a lot of time to come back. So we need to be with leaders. That is where we will make a very good returns. And I think these are players where from here next 3 to 5 years they might double. That is one sector to look upon. And auto, now people will be afraid of shared mobility. So people will not like to go by train or by bus if they are traveling to office. What will happen? They have to buy a two-wheeler. If they are slightly richer, they have to go and buy some car. So what will that they will buy? They will buy a car at the entry level. That means Maruti, which has about 50% market share, is going to be a beneficiary. So Maruti, again, the market share will start to move up for Maruti. Nobody is going to, somebody who is traveling in train or bus is not going to buy a BMW or Mercedes-Benz. He will buy the entry-level Maruti car, or he will go for a second-hand car. So second-hand market also will be very good. When second-hand market improves, then people will sell there and buy new cars. So that is where these things are likely to improve. So we need to understand that. So Maruti, which has cash in their balance sheet, will not face any problem. So that is one company to focus on. In two-wheelers, the top two Indian players, see the second largest manufacturer is Honda. The first largest is Hero Motor. And Bajaj, if you take Honda away because it is not listed in India, then Hero and Bajaj are likely to take the major market share. And Hero has said whatever is the BS4 vehicle, whatever is the BS4 vehicle, they will sell it abroad. So their dealers will not be fined. So they are taking back that vehicle. So there will be an inventory, which will be stuck up for at least 2-3 months, but that will be exported. So there will be some losses for them, but they will recoup. And these are companies with huge balance sheet. Even TVS Motor has bought a company in UK. That is a news today. I think that also will benefit. So Eicher Motor will benefit. So two-wheeler mega companies are likely to benefit. And I think auto is going to be a long-term beneficiary. It will not immediately pick up because they have a supply issue. Most of their raw materials or auto parts come from China. So they will have an impact in short term, but once they start to have an Indian this thing, that is where they can come out of this problem. Many people feel COVID-19 gives an opportunity for hospital, but the ground level data says it is entirely different. Hospitals are a loser now. Why? Because Apollo Hospital, Narayana Hridayalaya, even Fortis, they say that medical tourism forms 50% of their patients. So as the lockdown has started, so nobody from abroad is able to travel here, and from here people are not able to go out, and even across country people are not able to travel. So Shaili gave a conference call 2 days before. They said they are operating at 30%, and at 25% they are breaking even. But normal occupancy ratio for them is 60%. That is why hospital stocks have corrected. So but these are sectors which are operating, but at a lower capacity. Once the lockdown is over, then automatically, people who have postponed their travel and everything, it will start to shoot up. I think hospitals will be the first to recover, and and even pathology lab in that Metropolis, Lalpath, even Thyrocare. These are companies where testing will start to improve. So I put sector wise, which is our pick. Life insurance. In the last 17 years, they've been growing at 15% CAGR. Any company which is growing at 15% CAGR, they can double their revenue in next 5 years. It is power of compounding. So any company which grows at 15% is something I like. In that, life insurance is a segment which is likely to do very good. And these kind of correction is an opportunity for a long-term investor to slowly buy like a SIP or slowly nibble, use every correction to buy. In that, the market leader or the company which has the highest margin is HDFC Life. No, whereas in SBI Life, no, they have a unique business model. State Bank of India, they have almost 22,000 branches. No, every village has a State Bank of India. That is the advantage SBI Life will bring. So SBI Life, no, they pay the lowest commission for their agents. So all their bank employees are their agents. So they pay the lowest. So that means they have enough spread, and that is where the growth is likely to come. So one more company is ICICI Pru, and they are in the private segment. They are larger than SBI Life and HDFC Life, and very soon SBI Life, due to the sheer capacity, we will overtake them. Exchanges, I think I have discussed with you, so I would skip this exchanges. So fertilizer. So before going to fertilizer, I think everybody would have seen the statement from IMD, where they have said the monsoon is going to be normal. It will be slightly in advance. So no, but I take data from other countries also. So Australian department also came out and say we will have excess rainfall. Our IMD is saying 100% rainfall, whereas Australia is saying we will have excess rainfall. So Japan has come and said we will have rainfall which will be early and slightly excess also. That means the monsoon is going to be very good. Already, whatever I'm hearing about the cultivation, whatever we have to, the crop output, it is one of the best years is what I'm hearing, because our reservoirs were, after the last monsoon, they were full by almost 90%. That means our agriculture, which dominates 15% of our economy, is likely to do well for the next 2-3 years. And agri-linked companies are going to do very well. In that, I like Coromandel, very good management. Rallies, a Tata Group company. Dhanuka Agritech, a specialist in agrochemical. PA Industries. PA Industry is in specialty chemical as well as in agrochemical. Bayer Corp, MNC company. So these are few stocks which we can look. So specialty chemical companies, even in this lockdown, they were allowed to operate. So Gujarat Alkali, it is a PSU company. So you have to be very careful. It can be a trading pick, but not a long-term investment pick. Sudarshan Chemical has started to operate. So Vinati Organic has corrected, and it is a specialty chemical. So now what will happen? The people who are buying from China will move to India. That means demand for specialty chemical. I have not mentioned few names. SRF is there. Aarti Industries is there. Atul Limited is there. These are specialty chemicals, and these companies are likely to benefit. We even have Gujarat Heavy Chemical, but due to corporate governance issue, for me, I will slightly stay away from that. There are changes happening in the company, but I need to see it for a bit longer time. Rating companies are not getting impacted by this crisis. Maybe they are a beneficiary. CRISIL is very attractive at current level. Even ICRA is one more company that we can look at it. CARE is one more. So these three are the major player, but leader takes it all. So I like CRISIL the most. In PSU, I'm not a fan of PSU. So I have a very limited stocks which I like. So Cochin Shipyard and BEL, which are connected with their defense, they were not impacted by the lockdown. So BEL on April 1st came with a statement which said their turnover was 12,500, and if you remove what voting machines they have done in last year FY19, Now, if I remove that, their growth has been 20%. It is amazing growth, but still, PSUs, we need to take it with a pinch of salt. Their order book, which was 58,000 crore, has come to 51,500 crores. So that itself is a visibility for next 3-4 years. So that is something we need to know. Cochin Shipyard, Cochin Shipyard, they are having a very low debt. I think it is 300 crores around is the debt, and that debt has been stable for many years. And I think at current level it is looking attractive. Somebody who wants to make 50% in 2 years, I think these two stocks will help you. And PSU, because the corporate governance issue is very minimum, and these two companies don't have a huge debt. So I don't think there is likely to be any problem in these two stocks. So IT sector, I've already discussed. See, IT as a sector, has been functioning as work from home. I come from Chennai, so most of my friends are in the IT sector. So if you have noticed that segment, now 20% of their employees work from home. Now it will start to increase. So I don't think, and this crisis made them work. They were the first segment to change when the crisis started in China. By February, they were making 50% of their employees work from home, and for them the job has not impacted. If you see the results of TCS and Wipro, their impact have been hardly 5% for Wipro, and in TCS it has been 2-3%, and for them the EBIT margin has not changed. If you take TCS, the EBIT margin is 25%, and they said yes, next quarter is going to be bad, but we will grow in this segment. And with the crisis situation, I think more orders are likely to be won by the IT companies. So IT company, any good correction should be an opportunity buy, but be with the leaders, that those are the companies which will recover faster. So there are multiple ways. There should be people who like to invest directly. There are people who don't like to invest directly. So what are the methods to invest? I will just share a few insights into it. See, if you want to invest directly in the stock, you should have your portfolio slightly diversified. That is a golden, and you need to have only 15 to 20 stocks. Sometimes people have only 3-4 stocks, or they have 100 or 150 stocks. It is a 80-20 ratio. Now 20% of the stock gives you 80% of the return. So you need to know which are your winners, and that is where you have to start building up. But your portfolio should be slightly diversified. And I will tell you, pharma, for example, it didn't perform for last 3.5 years, and one crisis has changed the perception of pharma. Many stocks are at all-time high. Cipla, for example, has rallied 60% in this month alone. So, good sectors, good stock. They just wait, and once things starts to happen, then the rally is very huge. So, but in pharma, we need to understand, we need to be with quality companies. There are companies where corporate governance is an issue. FDA doesn't give them permission. For example, Wockhardt, in that case, the comfort will not come. You have to be in companies where the corporate governance is clean governance and clean. That is where it is easy for us to make good returns. And there are multiple ways to invest. One is ETF, exchange traded fund. Many people say, I don't have time to read everything. I don't understand this corporate governance. I cannot manage. I have a lot of other work. I cannot manage my portfolio. Then ETF is the most simple thing. You have to just buy, slowly accumulate when the market corrects, and whenever market recovers, it gives you the return, and the charges are very minimum. It is like buying a stock. It is like Nifty Bs means you are buying Nifty in a form of stock. There are other forms of ETF also, Nifty, Motilal Nifty, Kotak Nifty, like that. Many companies are doing it. The charges, management charges are minimum there. Otherwise, you can go for a mutual fund. Mutual fund is a diversified portfolio where fund manager manages it. So for that, we need to pay slightly higher fees. So that is why, if you are taking an index-based fund, it is better to be in ETF. If you are taking a mid-cap fund, diversified fund, then mutual fund is the best form. But you have huge corpus and you want a focused fund manager, then PMS is the best thing. There, we also have our own PMS, and that is something you can look at. So these are few books, they very important. So now I have shown you a lot of books. So I would like to discuss few things. The 50 corporation that failed. This book, if you want it, you can ask Deepak. I will give him all the books. See, we have I have a big library. So all data, our reports, everything, we normally provide to our dealers, ASM and regional heads. So Deepak normally has all our this thing. So his mobile number and mail ID I will give you. You can take it from him. So the failures of 50 corporation, I would like to say a few things about it. I don't know how many people have seen Kodak. I see only young faces in the cameras. So, but there was something called black and white film, color film. So, Kodak was the leader in color films. In 1985, they discovered something called digital camera. 1985, they discovered digital camera. They they gave an award to the scientist who discovered. They said, please, you have done a great work, but don't say anything outside because our business will get impacted. So they failed to capitalize on their own discovery. And by 2000, 2005, the company has gone. Now, there was Nokia and Motorola when mobile came. If you recollect, 1996 mobile came to India. So Nokia, it will look like a brick, Nokia and Motorola, and they were the first companies to dominate the space, but they thought that hardware is going to be the business. I'm not concentrating on software. So they had two people who were not manufacturing mobile, dominating the space. iPhone and Google have taken over their space and they were gone out. That is something we need to learn. So it gives about the failure of corporates. Company which has failed to change is something we need to understand. So there is one hotel in Bangalore, very interesting hotel. I was seeing that video. I will send you that name. It is famous for their dosa. They have in their menu about 7 or 8 items. And the hotel doesn't have a single seat to sit also. So why I'm saying this is, whenever you create a niche, when you have a limited product, you have a big dominance. So you need to know what is the product you are selling and what is the business you want to do. For example, in Namkeen, the famous name, they have only 2 major products. Aloo Bhujia and Shev Bhujia. But and few other products, and that sells 80%. Rest of the products only sell 20%. Hyderabadi biscuit, Karachi biscuit. You take Karachi biscuit, one product sells 80%, rest of their product. So we need to understand the company in a different way. For example, I will tell you, we like Asian Paints. We have come out with a painting report. In that, Asian Paint is one of our topics. Now I will tell you, because you are young people, you need to learn how to select companies. Asian Paint in 80s took away all the dealers, intermediates from their business. They were supplying direct to the shops, and they got a super computer in 1980s itself. So what they did, they had lot of data. No, the data, no, day in, day out, 3 days, no, in a day, 3 times their van comes and they supply. And they know perfectly what is going to be the demand and which season the demand will come, what is the likely liking of this area, they know. And they have the least inventories. Their inventory management is one of the best. So no, and that company has a huge cash flow. If you see the margin, it is one of the best. So what has happened? Asian Paints have taken the market share because the dealer doesn't need to stock anything. The shopkeeper, they don't stock any product. They know every day 3 times it will come. No, they will say, they will take the address, they will say, I will give you home, or you wait for half an hour, I will give you the product, and immediately when he calls, the product is there and he will give. So without stocking, if a shopkeeper can sell, that is the best business for 5-6% margin. He doesn't need to stock anything. No, that is how Asian Paints has created a niche. What is the niche of Berger Paint? In exterior, the best paint company is Berger Paint. No, so they are concentrating, they are leader in exterior. They don't concentrate much on the interior painting. So you need to know your strength and you need to concentrate on your strength. That is more important in business. And when we invest also, we need to understand the strength of the business. So I will tell you, DMart. DMart is trading at 100 P. Now, why so expensive? It is very expensive, right? It is because of their niche. You go see their product, no, you will understand they have the less variety. They give 30% discount, but they will not have everything what you want. What is fast moving will be available with them. What is not moving will not be available with them. Now, any product, you take your oil, sunflower oil, they will have 1 liter and 5 liter. They will not have half a liter. And they will not have any other product. They will have only the hot selling 2 or 3 product in that sunflower. So they know what is moving, and every shop maintains their own inventory. It is not a centralized system as Biyani does. In Biyani or other management, they procure the product centralized and then they supply. So how much is the time wasted is, no, it is taking 15 or 20 days wastage. But in DMart, whatever they buy in 15 days, it is empty. So their cycle rotation is every 15 days. And DMart buys by paying cash. They don't take credit. Other companies take credit and they stock it. Here they buy by cash. 15 days, 1 month, in 1 month, 2 cycle is over. That money is rotated 2 times and they get the best price. So why we go and buy in DMart? We buy more than our requirement in DMart because they don't have half a liter and many things. So we buy. That is why, the premium, and they are growing at 25%. 25%. If a company grows, it will be in 3 years, they will double. But now they will have a problem. Social distancing is likely to be a problem. So there can be a correction. If DMart comes around 1,700 or 1,600, you need to start buying slowly. At this level, it is a bit expensive because 6 months visibility is not there. So 1 year they might lose out. But again, these crises come and they go and people will forget. Our memory is the shortest. We will forget what is happening. So we should not worry too much on that. So these are few stocks. I was talking about Saurav Mukherjee, where he selects stocks. The kind of stock he selects is high return on capital employed stock, ROCE. Where he says about 15% if they have delivered for 10 years. That is what I like. So see, each one has their method. So he has a method that return on capital employed, if a company can give for 15 years, 10 years at 15%, and if they have a growth, sales growth is also consistent, then those are the companies. So in that he has got about 25-30 companies, and after filtering the management quality, he has taken. In that, one of his companies, Astral Poly. No? And in Astral Poly, if you see their consistent growth and their margin is one of the highest. So I also wanted to understand what is there in Astral Poly that I am missing. Now, Astral Poly doesn't use manual people to load and unload. He says that is where his cost and pilferage is very heavy. Robots do it. So he has a huge cost saving. And trucks don't wait. In 5 minutes, the loading is done and unloading is done. That means he is saving a huge cost there. Now, that is one advantage. So now when you read books, you will understand each one, telling what has happened and how to improve. And 0 to 1, fantastic book. He was a person who started PayPal, which was later linked to eBay, and eBay bought it. So he says that when you do a startup, you need to start very small, and then you have to scale up, seeing the demand, seeing your competitor, then you have to create your niche. There are companies like Google which doesn't have a competitor. They are alone, but they tell everyone that no, there are too many competitors to me. But actually, Google or Facebook or WhatsApp, they have a different competitor, but nobody to directly compete. So but they portray as if there is a competitor. But whereas when we take a competitive industry, then there are companies which are in steel or other commodities. They say no, we have a niche advantage. No, we need to understand. And 0 to 1, he talks about how they have evolved, how startup should do. They say the salary of the startup promoter should be low. If they start to take high salary, then it will never succeed. When you take low salary, your employees also will compromise for a growth of the company. And startup should have a lot of flexibility. Now, they might have started for X, but if they see a visibility in Y, they need to move on. So these are excellent books to read for young minds. Art of Warfare, it is a very old book where Tung Tzu says, wars are won in the mind. It is not won by battle. It is not won on the ground. You have to irritate. He says you have to irritate people so that they become tired, and that is a time you can win them. Excellent way he has said many things, and it is very true for investment. Very true for investment for many reasons. Why? Any stock, which can be very good. For example, SRF. I recollect in 2000, 2010, SRF used to trade at 5-6 times, being a specialty. It irritated for 10 years. And then when it started to perform, it was a multi-bagger. You take Hindustan Lever, 2000 to 2010. They had a lot of, it irritated people for a very long time. And 323 was a high for 10 years. And from 323, when it started to perform, today it is almost nearing 2000. So in 10 years, what is the kind of return it has given? Pharma, 3 years it is irritated. And once that irritation is over, what kind of return people are enjoying when the market is corrected 40%, pharma is given 50-60%, few companies even 100%. That is something we need to understand, because the stock is irritating. If the fundamentals are right, if the management is doing everything right, and if they are not taking the money, then I think we need to have an eye on it. There will be always opportunity in good companies. In bad time, yes, they will correct, but in bad times, you need to identify these good companies, and that is where you need to buy. For example, I like IndusInd Bank. Everybody compares IndusInd Bank with Yes Bank. I totally don't agree. The year-on-year basis, there is a slight degrowth in their deposit, but if you understand, they can easily repay the deposit. It is not a Yes Bank where they were unable to pay the deposit, and their management style has been different. And today, the report says that 72% of the holding is with FPI. Whereas in Yes Bank, when the problem started, most of the FPIs have sold, and retail investor were holding Yes Bank. Here we have foreign personal investment or foreign direct investment holding 72% and their cap is 74%. Just 2% they can increase. Promoter holds 16%. That means 72 plus 16, it is almost 88% is held by strong hands. And then you have mutual funds. What is the balance left for retail investor? 4-5%. No, and this bank is not as big as Yes Bank. Yes Bank had a loan book of 2,50,000 crore in the peak. This bank is having 2 lakh crore. No, it was IndusInd Bank was started before Yes Bank. But the kind of growth Yes Bank has seen in the last 4 years, from 2014 to 2018, from 55,000 crore loan book, they have grown to 2,50,000. That is a kind of growth that they have done. So yes, IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank, they have been gradual. So I don't think they will be into any problem. So they can manage themselves very well. So IndusInd Bank offers a huge opportunity, but we need to have patience. We need to see, I can be totally wrong. Tomorrow there can be something which I don't know and it can happen. So we need to, every quarter we need to analyze, we need to get updated. And in IDBI Capital, we normally do that. We normally update our clients. This is not the first time we are doing a con call. Here, it is Deepak who has arranged it. But if you were our clients, by now you would have interacted 4 or 5 times with us. So we normally handhold. We come out with a lot of data. We tell you what is happening, what is good, what is bad. Before India Bulls Group, DHFL got into problem. We have cautioned everyone. We said, DHFL cannot function. And when banks are not able to lend, we thought housing finance will not grow. Because what is the avenue for banks? They will lend to housing finance. So these are few things which change dynamically. And we need to always review and we need to go and look at it, how to do it. So this is for traders. Even we train traders, we tell them how to trade. And if you look at our report, we have something called ATPs. 8 days, 13 days, 21 and 34 days. And what is ATP? We call it as VWAP, volume weighted average price. What advantage it gives? We know what is the price that buyer and seller has been transacting in the last 8, 13 or 21 or 34 days. That is a very good indicator. I will show you our report towards the end of the presentation. And always as a trader, only buy strength. I tell people buy 52-week high. See, these are unique cases where the correction has happened and every stock has been hit. But it happens once in 10 years, not every time. But when you have to buy as a trader, even as an investor, buy strength, don't buy weakness. Something which corrects for a long time. You take BHEL, it has been correcting for 12 years and it is trading at 3% of the value. What it was 13 years back, today it is only 3% of the highest value. Many stocks are like that. Once they start to correct, you take ADJ Group, once they start to correct, they might not recover. So we need to go about and we need to find. So buy strength. Wherever there is a weakness, we need to avoid it as an investor. As a trader, that is where the opportunity comes. Weakness is where you have to sell. And whenever there is a result, 2 days before and 2 days after results, please don't trade. For example, TCS result. Now you don't know which side it will react. I will tell you, Wipro, ADR was showing 8% down. But here that thing was different. So we cannot know what side. The result was not so good in TCS as per people on media, but the stock was up 7%. So we need to understand results before results are even 2 days before and 2 days after. We should avoid those things. That is more important. So these are few things. I'm almost coming to an end. So there are a lot of queries which have come. I will take it in few minutes. So if you want to get in touch with us, No, Deepak Jain, I've given the mail ID and phone number. No, you can WhatsApp him or you can call him so that the reports or e-books which I've shared, everything will be done. So in pharma, there are few stocks which I've not mentioned. In pharma, I like companies which have API. So in that, Ipca Lab, Dr. Reddy, Biocon, Divi's, these are 4 major players, and I think that is where I like. So I will tell you a few studies which I have done. So Ipca Lab, I am going to show you the con call detail. Why Ipca Lab is going to be a company which will do very good. So I think there is something here underlined in yellow. Can you see it? Can you see it? Somebody can raise their hand.
No.
You cannot see it.
We are not able to see. No.
Yellow color. That presentation you cannot see.
No, we are not able to see.
Okay.